Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
We are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Mango Cabana by Valor Mountain Games.
Mango Cabana, the fruity nightclub game, is a game from designer Gary Chavez, Gary was one of the first people to send us their game for us to review here on Love to Hate. It was a game called Saints and Scoundrels, and it was a really cool game. Kind of had a Silence of the Lambs theme to it. One of our more diamond in the rough type experiences here on Love to Hate. Really enjoyed it. So when we heard about Mango Cabana and from Gary, we absolutely wanted to check it out. So this is not like Silence of the Lambs, though. Totally different theme. It is Mango Cabana, and it is a drafting game in which you are drafting fruit to be the star at your nightclub. You'll want musicians, you'll want comedians, and magicians starring on the different nights that your club is open, and you'll want to try to pair them up with each other and have the best opening acts each night of the week. Let me show you how it works down below, and then we'll come back and share thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, here's Mango Cabana, the fruity nightclub game on the table. Let me show you guys how this card drafting game about running a nightclub is going to work. Do want to start off by letting you know everything you see here is prototype. The final artwork, components, and maybe even some of the rules might change once it's released from crowdfunding. That being said, let me show you guys what you have with this game. Obviously, you've got cards. Now, these cards are going to have some artwork of some fruits on them, as well as a name and their type of performance, what they do. This is a musician, obviously, whereas Wendy is going to be a magician, and then Mandy here is going to be a comedian, Mandy the dragon fruit. And they're going to have their own special ability on the card, as well as show you the payout of what you'll earn if you hire Mandy to your nightclub, depending on what day of the week. And so each player will have their own player board here with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on it. And you can see here that these numbers are going to match with what day. So for instance, Mandy here is going to give you $3 if you put her on Thursday or Friday, but she will only get you $2 if you were to put her on Saturday or Sunday. So that's how to understand these cards. And then the special bonus here, if you fulfill whatever that says, you'll get more money. You also have some money tokens in the game. Now, these are going to be rounded in the final game, and so not these square tokens that you see here, but you have 5s, 1s, and 10s. And then you also have nightclub cards. So nightclub cards, everybody's going to be dealt a nightclub card at the beginning of the game. Perhaps you might be Hocus Pocus Magic Lounge, or you could be Orchid Lounge, Nightclub, Studio 77 Entertainment Club, Mango Cabana Music Lounge, Giggle Factory. There's just a whole bunch in here with different names. And they're going to have different end game goals that you are trying to achieve. And if you are able to do so, you will gain additional points. So let me explain to you how the game is going to work. As you can see, we have 3 of these set up out here. So this is going to be how the game might look in a 3-player game. But you will always have 6 cards in the market, and you'll put them exactly as you see here with two columns, 3 rows. And how it's going to work, whoever has the lowest numbered nightclub, so each of these are going to have numbers on them, and whoever's nightclub is lowest is going to start, and you will simply draft 1 card from the market. So perhaps I take Mandy here, we talked about her earlier, and if this is the card I'm selecting, then whatever the card was next to the one that I selected is going to get discarded. So Frank Papaya, sorry, you are out of here. And we would remove him from the game. And Mandy, I am going to slot her underneath one of my days of the week here, keeping in mind how much she pays out and whatever special benefit she might have on her, as well as what my end game goals are going to be, because there are some that will say things like, if Friday has only 1 show, I will get $4 extra at the end of the game. So I want to make sure that whoever I put on Friday is a really good act, and as we already said, Mandy's going to pay more on Friday, so maybe I select her to put under Friday. And I will point out these player boards are going to be changed as well so that the cards fit in here better than they do. But anyhow, that's all you're doing on your turn. You're selecting a fruit and you're putting it somewhere on your player board. Wherever you end up putting it, it is there for the rest of the game. And you can only ever have at maximum 2 cards on each day. So you cannot just put everybody on Friday or Saturday or whatever. You do have to spread them out eventually throughout the course of the game. And taking a look further at Mandy's card here, it says if there is 1 music and 1 magic show, you would get +2. So if Mandy's the first one I'm selecting, obviously I don't have another music or magic show, so I don't earn that bonus. However, I can earn it throughout the course of the game if I fulfill what it says. So if later in the game I do get a music and a magic show, then I have fulfilled that and I will get $2 more. However, let's take a look at Sandy here. Sandy's a little bit different. Sandy is a diva because she has this star on here, and typically divas are going to either pay out more, as you can see down here, or let's take a look at Thelma. She is multi-talented. She sings and she makes people laugh, but she also pays out a lot of money too. And so these cards are going to be more valuable to you, but they do have some harder restrictions on them. So you got to get another magic show here to get the bonus with Thelma, whereas with Sandy, you can't have any other shows scheduled for that particular game. And so if let's say I put her on Sunday here and there is no one, I would get that $1. However, if I were to schedule somebody else on Sunday, then I would lose that bonus and I would have to pay it back. So that's how that bonus is going to work. Now with these stars, you do want to be mindful of how many you've collected throughout the course of the game, because at the end of the game, however many diva stars you have, you're going to have to pay money back, because divas have personalities. They don't like to work with other people, and so that is representing the penalty that you have for working with a diva. So if you only have 1 star, nothing bad there, but if you have 2, you got to pay $2 back. If you have 5 stars, you're going to have to pay $14 back. So you don't want to take too many divas throughout the course of the game. Now, again, wherever I selected my card, we would discard the other card that is in that slot, and we would have to refill this market up with cards for whoever goes next. So we're putting out Lola, which Lola is one of the better cards in the deck because she does everything, but she does come with 2 diva stars because, well, she knows she's good. And so that's how it works. And then it would be the next player's turn to draft, and we would just continue doing this until we all have 6 cards drafted underneath our boards, at which point we'll count up our money. We'll also count up whether we got our goals here, scoring more points for that, and then whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. And that's how you play this game. Now, I do want to point out that there are a couple of variants for how you can do the drafting, which are pretty interesting. The first being that you don't have a market at all. Every player is going to have 7 cards dealt to them. And so this is 7 cards right here. And I would select one of those cards. So maybe I take Lola because she's the best card. And I would, if I'm the first player, show everybody who I selected. I would slot her under my board wherever she's going to go. And then I would hand the player to my left the rest of my cards, these 6 cards. And that player's also going to have a hand of 7 cards dealt to them. They would lay down a card that they're selecting, pass the rest to the next player, and we would just repeat that. And so you would take the cards that were handed to you by the player on your right, and you would look through them and you would select one that you're going to keep, show it to everybody, slot it in, pass the cards around until, again, everybody has 6 cards, and then you'll score your cards that way. There's another variant in which you do the exact same thing that I just described. However, you are not showing people what your cards are. You're putting them face down under their different days. So this is a double blind drafting variant. And then at the end, after everybody has 6 cards, you would flip over all your cards. So that way nobody is hate drafting, for instance, because if I can see your cards and know that you really need another magician or for whatever the case may be, I don't want to hand you magicians. You can't do that with that double blind variant, so it prevents that sort of thing from happening. Anyhow, that's Mango Cabana, the fruity nightclub game. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Mango Cabana from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, this is a drafting game, which we like drafting. That's one of the more mechanics that we enjoy. So what did you think about Mango Cabana?
I thought it was good. Definitely an easy drafting game. I think it's really good for kids and non-gamers. Just a very light game.
Yeah.
But it was very easy to understand. Everything's pretty much right there in front of you.
Yeah.
So it makes it very clear. You're not having to go back to the rule book or anything like that. So I think it is a very easy, light game for families or for, gatherings of different types of people that might have different levels of gaming experience.
Yeah, I think this is a game that you could play with just about anybody. I think, you could play it with your kids, you could play it with your grandparents, because it's a pretty easy game to understand. And the cards, as is the case in a good drafting game, they bounce off of one another.
Yeah.
You've got some cards that want to be by themselves and maybe give you more points because of that, but then you've got to balance it out and figure out where you're going to put all your other cards that want to be with other cards. So there's some fun card play off of the different fruits in this game.
Yeah.
For you as a non-gamer, trying to figure that out and wrap your head around it, what was that like?
Yeah, it was really, like I said, everything's so clear on the cards and with how the game just looks when it's set up, that there was no need to explain a whole lot. Once you explained the general idea, I got it. It's easy to play.
Now, there are other variants, other ways you can play this game that are in the official rules, and you'll want to check out the campaign page to get all the details on that. As this is a prototype, and so it is still evolving, and the final product might be a little different than what we have here even. But some of the different rule variations where you can change up the way that you're drafting the cards is an interesting thing with this game as well, because that's kind of where the crux of the game lies, is in the whole drafting aspect of it, and that's where the fun is, knowing that you can't have all of the cards, you can only take one, and whatever you leave is going to be available for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's the fun twist with these drafting kind of games. So this is a classic drafting mechanic game. If you're not somebody who's really played a whole lot of drafting games, this would be a really good one to start out with.
I think it's a really good way to introduce that mechanic to non-gamers.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The game is Mango Cabana, the fruity nightclub game from Valor Mountain Games. Good family weight game here, definitely worth checking out. Check out the campaign link down below in the description of this video, and leave us some comments below. Let us know what you think about this game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and press that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance,
I'm Sam.
and we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.